The grim reality of addiction. It's mid-morning and inside this tent a man is injecting cocaine. He tells volunteers he is just out of prison after a 12-month sentence. 2 hours after his release and with nowhere to go, he says he has returned to what he knows: drugs.
Just want to get a reset for 5-10 minutes. You know what I mean? That's why I've just done what I've done today.
Did you have a habit before you went into prison?
Aye, I was in a bad way. I was 9 stone. It was bad. I think I'd have died if I didn't get to jail. It's just a revolving door. That's everything I've got. Just in a bag. I've got nowhere to go. It's just really done with it all, to be honest.
To those driving past, it's a basic pop-up tent on the pavement. The site in Glasgow's East End has been chosen as nearby wasteland is well used by those injecting drugs. Behind the billboards, debris left behind by frequent visitors. One of the volunteers on the first day of the tent is a former Labour MP.
We just set up this gazebo and within 20 minutes we had someone turn up to inject. I didn't expect to see anyone here today. It's quite remarkable just how obvious and how in plain sight it actually happens. I suppose most people will walk by oblivious to the fact that it can be going on a few metres away from them.
The tent is an expansion of a weekly service that has been operating from a converted minibus in the city centre. In 8 weeks, around 50 addicts have injected here. Over 60% use cocaine. Half also admitted to taking street Valium.
I'm hopeful that we can see facilities spring up in places like Dundee. The Health and Sports Minister Joe Fitzpatrick's home city, which is the drug death capital of Europe, needs a facility like this. Joe Fitzpatrick's invited and has been invited to come out and see the facility.
The Scottish Government say while it supports the principle of safe consumption rooms, there is currently no legal framework for these facilities in the UK. Therefore, it would not be appropriate for the Minister to visit. Peter's progress is being closely followed by those who have gone before him in countries including Canada.
I've never seen anyone get an injection site anywhere in the world that didn't do a standoff and do an unsanctioned site.
Canada's first legal drugs consumption site is in Vancouver. It's been operating for 17 years with no fatalities. But drugs deaths are rising in Canada, and activists continue to work locally to help addicts all over the country.
It shocks me, it still shocks me that the people in charge of our health, it's actually frightening, are not going to do anything about epidemics of death. And when citizens do, they lead the politicians. Politicians are not, they don't lead these things. I've never heard of someone getting elected and doing something radical. It's never happened.
In Copenhagen, safe injection sites are now part of the public health response adopted by local government. They do not operate without criticism.
Yes, it took a year to get to that state, and now we have 5 permanent safe injection facilities in Denmark. And actually right now more people is dying in other parts. So that's why we are back. Civil society is back. It's an evolution on how to deal with this problem. But of course there have to be a debate.
The UK government insists there is no debate, and it has rejected repeated calls for a trial of such a facility. Police Scotland say the setting up of any safe consumption location contravenes the Misuse of Drugs Act.
We can't continue to wait for the UK government to change the law. Scotland needs to take responsibility for this. We have the worst drug death rate in the world per head of population, and something needs to change today.
To those on the ground, political solutions to our drug crisis appear to be slow and in short supply. They maintain saving lives must be the priority.